So there's two principles that I want to cover in today's video. The first one that I want to cover is a principle called activation energy. It's a principle from chemistry. And then the second principle that I want to cover is escape velocity, which is a principle from physics. All right. Now, if you're like, Miles, how is this going to apply to dog training? It's important, I think, in all aspects of life, but also in dog training, to take a multidisciplinary approach to solving problems. So whenever you're solving a problem or whenever you're doing anything really, being able to look at it from taking lessons and principles from multiple disciplines to examine a problem and view it from many different perspectives often allows you to view the problem or view the thing more accurately and less distorted, less like in the dog trainer bubble or echo chamber, so to speak, right? And so, yes, these principles, although they might seem unrelated, apply directly to dog training and many other areas of your life as well. All right, so let's go ahead and break each one down. First things first, let's get started with some activation energy, all right? So in chemistry, activation energy is, I'll go ahead and zoom in on this definition. In chemistry, activation energy is the minimum energy required for a chemical reaction to occur. So for molecules to break apart and then form new bonds, right? So like, for example, imagine like you're striking a match, right? You know, like when you're striking a match on the matchbox, if you go really slow, like nothing happens, right? You're not striking it with enough energy. But when you strike the matchbox, there's a minimum amount of energy required. When you strike the matchbox in just the right way, you create just enough friction with enough force and enough speed, right? Then the match ignites. That's activation energy, the minimum energy required for that to happen, right? And so you can use this principle in chemistry as a metaphor in other areas of your life. So like, for instance, you can think about it as the minimum energy required to start something, right? So for example, let's say you wanted to start working out. So you join like a workout program or you sign up for a gym, right? And you can think about it, what's the minimum energy required for you to start working out at the gym? Like you wake up today and you're like, I'm real tired today. What's the minimum energy required for you to begin the workout at the gym? Really, when you think about it, it's like, well, really, all you have to do is put on your workout clothes, put on your shoes, and then get in the car. And then once you do that, the new bonds have broken apart and the new ones are forming and the new reaction is underway. Like very soon you will end up at the gym working out, you see? So it's a useful metaphor in other areas of your life, and we'll apply it to dog training in this video because it's an incredibly important concept. All right. So escape velocity, the other principle is, again, it's a principle from physics, and it's the minimum speed an object must reach to break free from a planet's gravitational pull. So for rockets, it's the minimum speed the rocket must be traveling to escape Earth's gravitational pull and escape out of the atmosphere, right? And so that is escape velocity. Now, again, you can use this as a metaphor and apply it to other areas of your life, right? So for example, you can think about it as the momentum required for something to become self-sustaining. So think about any like strong habit that you have, right? Strong habit. Like something as simple as brushing your teeth, for instance, right? When you were a kid, likely, this might have required a significant degree of activation energy for you to summon the willpower, or maybe it was fostered by your parents, right? To put some energy into that system. But over time, the behavior of brushing your teeth becomes automatic. It just becomes self-sustaining. Right? You don't have to expend any additional effort to brush your teeth in the morning or at night. It just happens by default, you see? This can also happen, like if any of you guys are like athletes and you're working out and you're going to the gym every day, right? It can also apply to that too, right? In the beginning, when you first start that workout plan, it requires a huge amount of activation energy, right? But there comes a turning point where the behavior becomes, you have so much momentum that it's actually the behavior of working out every day or whatever, sticking to your workout plan, becomes self-sustaining. You don't even have to think about it. It doesn't even require additional energy. You just do it. It's automatic, right? And so these are two very important concepts that, again, apply directly to dog training. And I will go ahead and tie that into this because it's a really important visualization of where people are in their training journey. So let's go ahead and start here on activation energy. This, by the way, is where a lot of people on YouTube are. All right, they're like in between these two things here. And we'll get to Max Q and talking about that in just a second. But let's go ahead and zoom in on activation energy. So if we think about activation energy as the minimum energy required to start something, you can see how this might apply to dog training. What happens? Why does somebody with a dog pursue training? Why do they go on YouTube and start looking at videos? Why do they go hire a trainer in person? Why do they do that? What's motivating that, right? Why? What is the motivation? That's obviously going to require a huge amount of work and effort, concentration. It's taking away energy from other areas of their life. So why would they do it? What's the motivation? Why? Well, many people, many dog owners who go and seek out training, the motivation, the why is very simple. Pain, right? They're currently in pain. They can't live with their dog. They're frustrated. They're upset. They're stressed out every day. It's anger inducing, whatever it is. They feel disappointed in themselves that they can't give the dog the life that they want to, that they don't have the skills and ability to do that. Pain or desire. They desire something different. They imagine what it could be like. They imagine the things that they want to be able to do, and they can't. You see? So it's two things, pain and desire. Most people, most dog owners, start out with a lot of pain. That's what motivates them to seek out training in the first place, right? Now, what gets somebody to actually start training? What gets someone to actually start training, right? Most dog owners, think about all of the dog owners that you know in your life, are completely oblivious to the concept of dog training. They don't even quite understand that it's a thing that exists, right? They just view their dog as a dog, and the dog does certain dog things, and some of the things piss you off a bit, but there's nothing really you can do about it. It's how most dog owners view it. What inspires somebody to seek out training in the first place? Pain, desire, but also a catalyst. So a catalyst is something that accelerates. It accelerates the speed of a chemical reaction, right? And you can use this, again, as a metaphor. So, for instance, somebody knows they're in pain with their dog, dragging them around on the street every day, causing trouble in the house, whatever. And then something happens. They go months living this way, months. And then something critical happens. The dog gets loose out of the house and goes running around the neighborhood, and it scares them. The dog knocks somebody over, right? Something happens, and it's the catalyst that accelerates the movement into training for that person, right? And so these two things here is the reason why people start. And this can exist in different degrees in different people, which is very interesting, I think. Like, there are some people who join my training program before they even have a dog. They don't even have a dog yet. They just buy it because they know eventually they're going to get a dog and they want to train. Very interesting, right? And then on the flip side, there are people who go years without training, and then something happens, and then they go into training. So it differs a lot depending on the individual. But this is a big reason why people start. Now, if you're watching this video on YouTube, or if you're somebody who's on YouTube looking at training, and you understand this, you understand the pain, You have a desire, you have a goal, something you want to achieve. Maybe you had a catalyst or not. The advice that I wish I could give to every owner out there who's ever watched my videos would be to commit to training. And it's not for the reason you think it is. A lot of dog owners get stuck in this weird middle ground between they want a trained dog, but they don't really want to start. They don't have enough activation energy to actually begin the reaction. You see? They're in pain and they want this thing, but they don't quite have enough right now to give to it, if that makes sense. You see what I'm saying? And I think people cause themselves a lot of mental trouble when they are in this weird halfway place. And this goes for everything, not just dog training, but like how many people, or maybe you, how many people do you know who are like, oh, yeah, I want to start that diet, one day, right? I want to start that. I really want to start that diet. I really want to start working out. Yeah, I really want to start. Oh, I really want to start that business. I really want to start it. And they want to, but they don't. You see, what they want to do is keep doing what they're currently doing, but they also have this desire, this outcome that they want to happen, but not enough to push them over the edge and activate. You see? And I think this causes people a lot of unnecessary stress for no reason. Like, it's literally just you wanting something, but not really enough to actually do anything about it. That creates so much stress. It's actually better to just not do anything, right? To just not do anything. It's better to just not even think about it at all. You see? And this is where I think a lot of dog owners fall into this trap. They've got these problems. They want to train dog, but not really. It'd be better to do nothing. Just delete all of the trainers on your phone. Just unsubscribe from everyone. Stop watching dog training content and just live with your dog like 99% of people do. Just live with them. And yes, they'll have problems, and yes, it'll be a lot of frustration, but just live with it. It's better than just creating this stress in your head. I should be doing this, but I want to do that. See what I'm saying? Now, if you're watching this video and you're like, Miles, what the fuck? There is no way I'm going to do that. Like, there is no way I am going to live like that. There is no way that is happening, right? And if you're watching this live, that's probably you, right? Then the advice is different. The thing that you need to do is commit. It's commit. And what commitment means is to cut off alternatives. Cut it off. All right, so what this looks like in practical terms, like for example, if you were committing to a diet, for instance, you are going to cut off your ability to overeat or eat the wrong foods or whatever, you see? You're cutting those possibilities off. In dog training, it's committing to one path and cutting off the other paths. What that looks like is, I know a lot of you guys on this watching this video right now, you're hopping from trainer to trainer to trainer. Oh, I'm gonna watch this one and that one, and I'm gonna follow this in-person trainer, and I'm also gonna watch them on YouTube, and I'm gonna put all the pieces together myself because I'll be able to discern the best information from all of them, and I'll be able to create the best system for my individual dog. That is like the equivalent, just to put it in perspective, that's like the equivalent of you trying to follow 5 different recipes to cook dinner that all make different food. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. All of these recipes have very different goals, very different ingredients to achieve those specific goals. Thinking that you have the ability to sift through all of the information out there and discern only the best to apply to your dog doesn't make any sense. Like, that is literally, if you had the ability to do that, you wouldn't be in this situation in the first place. You see? And this is the trap that so many dog owners fall into, especially online. They're following like 15 different trainers, and they just pick and choose whatever to follow do things on a whim. It doesn't make any sense. You wouldn't do that in any other domain. And so commit, cut off all the alternatives. Pick one trainer. And if you're asking yourself, how do I know what trainer to pick? You need to find a trainer who produces the outcome that you want. That's it. So just look at the trainer, look at the outcome that they achieve, look at their dogs, look at their clients' dogs. That's it. And then you need to ask yourself, is that what you want? That's it. And then once you find a trainer that you believe can help you achieve that outcome that you want, then you commit to that one path and you delete everything else. You remove, you cut off those alternatives. You see? Critical, all right? Critical. Just like if you're following a diet, right? You don't follow the diet and then start piecing together different diets. Like that doesn't make any sense, right? You follow one and you see it through to completion, right? And so that's the action item there. And a lot of you guys on my channel and all over, right, hopping from trainer to trainer. Big mistake. And so at this point, really, like just to get your rocket off the ground, just to get moving, you have to make a decision. You've got to. To decide means you have to cut off these alternatives. And so you can make a decision to either train your dog and go all the way, or just don't even worry about it and be like 99% of people. You see? And so make a choice and then pick a trainer whose outcome that you like and commit to it. All right? So that's activation energy. And that's just getting started. That's getting your rocket off the ground. Now, once you've committed to a path and you're moving, this is where things get a little dicey, all right? This is, by the way, this right here, like 99% of people don't even get to this point. Like they literally just don't start. And it's not just dog training, but this is like everything. People are afraid to commit to something. They're just afraid to, right? This goes for whatever, workout plan, diet, starting a new business, training your dog, anything, right? They're afraid to commit. So just doing this separates you from everybody else. However, the coast isn't clear after you commit, all right? So the next thing, once your rocket is ignited and you are on the way up, you hit this thing called max Q, all right? And in a rocket's flight path, max Q is when the rocket is under the most amount of pressure at any point in the journey. It's when the rocket is literally like bending and twisting and contracting, and like this is when the whole rocket gets stress tested and it's most likely to blow up, all right? So your objective here in anything, or when you're, again, if you use this as a metaphor, like when you're training your dog, the objective here is to survive, okay? So the thing that you're fighting against as you're increasing here, as you're summoning the activation energy required to escape, the thing that you're fighting against is gravity, right? So can I draw in here? The thing that you're fighting against is gravity. It's just this force that is constantly trying to pull you back down. That's why it requires so much energy to start. And again, if you use this as a metaphor for dog training, for instance, what is gravity? What is gravity? Gravity in dog training represents your dog's behavior, your dog's behavioral patterns, their learned behavior, represents your dog's genetics. It represents your current skills and ability and understanding. See, that's what gravity represents. That's the thing that you're fighting against. Your bad habits, all of that. That's the thing you have to fight against on the way up. Gravitational pull, right? And so once on that way up, by the way, let's go back to max Q. Max Q, again, is the hardest part of the entire journey. This is when the rocket is most likely to blow up and collapse under pressure. Again, if you use this as a metaphor for, let's say working out, it's those days where you wake up and it's like Oh my, like that is the working out is literally the last thing in the world that I want to do right now. Like literally the last thing, right? In dog training, this is when your training gets stress tested. Maybe, and for every person, by the way, and every dog, they hit a different max Q, right? So like for some people, it's the reactivity around the neighborhood. For some people, it's the recall off the squirrels or whatever it is, right? Your objective here is to survive max Q, because on every person's journey, on every arc, everybody hits a max Q. It's just a little bit different for most people. And so it's a part of the journey though. That's important to understand. It's not something you can avoid. Understand? The reason why most people fail here when they hit max Q, whatever it is for them and their dog, is they start succumbing to they almost start tricking themselves and giving themselves highly believable reasons for why they can't get past this problem. So I'll give you an example. So let's say it's your dog's reactivity, for instance, is like the big problem. This is the point in the training when it gets stress tested, where people say things like, oh, maybe, I think I saw this other trainer do this one thing a little bit differently. I think I'm gonna go over there. Oh, I think I saw this thing over here. I'm gonna go and try that. Oh, I'm in the middle of following this workout plan, but it's really hard right now. And I think this other workout plan is gonna be so much easier, or this other diet is gonna be so much easier. You see, your brain, it starts playing these tricks on you. I call them like gravitational tricks. Like it's literally these thoughts that come into your head are literally just trying to derail you from solving this problem and blowing past it. Literally, your brain is like, this problem is not worth the mental effort, and it's trying to trick you into going back down to how things were comfortable down here, and it wasn't so bad down here, and it's not as hard, and it doesn't require nearly as much energy or compute power as it does to blow past this obstacle. You see? Gravitational tricks. You've got to be very careful of these, because the reasons that you give yourself are going to be highly believable. Because this is also, people say things like, oh, I gotta wait. I'm a little bit busy. Oh, it's holiday season right now. I've gotta take my foot off the gas here. I can't do it around holiday season. We're gonna be too busy. I'm not gonna be able to be consistent with the training. I think I should restart in New Year's. Say things like this. You see, again, part of that might be true, but you're giving yourself these highly believable reasons that cause your rocket to collapse under pressure when you hit max Q, whatever that thing is, that difficult thing. For some people, by the way, it's even more meta. It's not just the reactivity, it's more so the emotions associated with it. It's the fear of correcting the dog, the fear of hurting your relationship, the fear of correcting your dog in front of other people. You see, it's these type things that cause you to get derailed. It's not even like the training. It's literally just your emotions getting in the way. You see? And so you have to be, again, very aware, as you're going through this process. Because if you're not, your brain is going to play these tricks on you, and it's going to cause your rocket to come crashing back down. And then you're going to have to restart again, probably with a different freaking rocket and a different workout plan and a different recipe, and it's all going to happen again. That's the trap that so many people, that cycle that so many people get stuck in. They never get past max Q. They never survive it. And so the important thing here is when you hit max Q, whatever that thing is for you and your dog, you need to maintain the perspective of, okay, this moment here, this is what max Q feels like. Feel it. This feeling right here is the reason why most people can't get past it. I understand this feeling. Ooh, the social pressure from the other people is very intense. Ooh, this problem here is very difficult. Ooh, you see, you feel it, recognize it, identify it, label it. Then once you've done that, maintain that long-term perspective. Maintain it. Okay, this right here, man, once I get past this thing, right? Once I get past this, like, hey man, and my rocket doesn't blow up, okay? You have to maintain that long-term perspective, right? Because if you come into it with short-term thinking, that's when you succumb to the shiny object syndrome and wanting to hop to a different thing and whatever, change course, restart again in a different, like, have to remain long-term. It's like, nope, I activated, I committed to something that I want the outcome in, you see, and you commit to it and you see it all the way through. Now, another tip for you guys here is, so think long-term, remind yourself of the goal, the thing you're trying to achieve. And then also another tip is surround yourself with people who have got the same destination as you. All right. So again, this is probably something you guys hear a lot, just like everywhere, but it's honestly the cheat code to everything, whether it goes for working out or dieting, whatever. Like imagine you're in a room, like all of your friends, like you're on the same workout plan, like literally all of your friends are on the same exact workout plan. How much easier is it to maintain and stick to that consistent schedule? So much easier, right? The influence that other people have on you, because again, we're social animals and we tend to do things that other people around us are doing. So when those people are doing the same exact thing that we want to achieve, it becomes much easier. It requires less effort almost on our part to achieve that outcome, right? So if we relate this back to dog training, connect with people. If you're training with a trainer in person, ask the trainer if you can get contact with somebody else who's also doing their training and see if you can meet up with them in person, like form that connection, right? If you're inside of, like obviously we have a program as well, but people inside the program form relationships with each other because you're starting out on the same thing, you've got the same goal, and then you've also got people who have completed it, who are exactly where you want to be, you see? And so you have that inspiration and that motivation to keep pushing forward. And so that's surviving max Q, all right? That again is where most people will fail. You can think about it like the hardest part of the training. All right, so now we're gonna get into the key here, okay? And then I'm gonna tie it all back. So escape velocity. This is something that most people who have dogs don't even believe exists. This is when the momentum that you created, the kinetic energy that you're carrying after expending all of this effort and energy over here, the kinetic energy just carries the rocket forward. This is when you cut the engines and you just coast at an incredible speed. This is when the behavior becomes automatic. Your dog just does it, period. They just do it. Like it's automatic. They don't even think about it. You don't even think about it. It just happens. This is when progress becomes inevitable. It becomes inevitable that you just get better and better and better. Of course. This is when you get to set course. So you get to choose, what destination am I trying to go to? Am I trying to point the rocket this way and go to this planet, point this way, go to this planet? You just set course and you make minor adjustments and course corrections along the way, but it doesn't require any effort. That's the thing. And again, this is the thing that most dog owners don't realize even exists. But I'm going to give you an example just to show you of like what this looks like. Because I remember when I first got Orbit, before I even got him, I remember I saw a video like this, like the one I'm about to show you, and I remember it completely blew my fucking mind. I didn't even realize that was a possible thing that you could do with a dog. But let me go ahead and pull it up. All right. So this is Hugh inside the community, but he just posted a graduation video. All right. Graduation video, for those of you who don't know, it's the video that our members submit to demonstrate that they've completed the program. All right. And so it's the standard, if you want to say. It's like and as a prize, they get like a cool hoodie and all of that stuff. Anyways, so let me show you what escape velocity looks like in dog training. All right, so this is Hugh and his dog, Doberman, named Holly. And they're pulling up to a place that they've never been to before. And I just want you to take a look. And I'm gonna skim through the video. Don't worry, we're not gonna sit here and watch the whole thing. Again, I just want to demonstrate the principle of escape velocity. So they're just walking around in this field. She's looking at him because she's trying to play with the ball. And they end up playing for a little bit. But here, I'm just gonna skip through like their entire walk basically. So here, now they're on a really busy street. Again, off leash, just rolling around. Busy street, crowds, people. All right, so the reason why I'm showing you guys this, and the reason why this is the standard that everybody's striving for inside of the community, is because at this point, at the stage that Hugh is at with his dog, they have reached escape velocity. This that you see in this video, they're in an environment that they've never been to before, ever. This is their first time in the environment. And it requires almost no effort. Think about what their regular everyday walk looks like around the neighborhood. No effort. There's this fallacy that dog owners get stuck in all the time. And it's what prevents them from, they get stuck here and get sucked back by gravity. That, I started, I got my rocket off the ground, but it's kind of like requiring a lot of work, and I think, to get to this point here, it must require so much more work, and I don't. And so they quit here, and the rocket comes crashing back down. The fallacy is that they think this requires energy. This does not require energy. Going through this process requires immense amounts of energy. But once you get here, once you hit escape velocity, that's when you turn off the engines. That's when it just coasts and you just make slight course corrections. You understand this? It's such like a mental, it's like this weird mental trap that people fall into. And people get fucked at different stages, by the way. So some people literally barely get their rocket off the ground, don't come in with nearly enough force to escape gravity, and they just come crashing back down almost immediately, and they just rinse and repeat that for years, right? Other people, and this is honestly probably the worst one, is some people, we've got some people in the community who are basically running max Q for an extended period of fucking time. This is probably the worst one. These are the people who join and they're training 3 hours a day. They go to classes 3 times a week. They're doing so much work. They're putting in a monumental amount of work, yet they're not close to hitting escape velocity. Why does that happen? How can some people just be stuck at max Q? Some people get stuck at max Q because the training that they're following isn't correct. It could be as simple as they're following the correct information, but they're simply doing it wrong. So they're not on the correct course. The rocket isn't tilted at the right angle. You know what I mean? They just stay at that stage and just continue burning massive amounts of energy. Happens in dog training all the time. And then what happens is those people, they either sustain that level for an extended period of time and then they get burnt out and then they just quit. They're like, dude, I'm training for 3 hours every day. This is fucking insane. And then they quit. Or what they do is they're training 3 hours every day and they burn at that rate, and then they are trying to think, they pivot, they look to a different system or a different thing, and then they unlock it, and then they hit escape velocity. Usually, like, those people are honestly, like, listen, those people are wildly committed to be burning at max Q for that long. But the good thing is with those people, it really just takes just changing what they're doing, and then it's like, boom, instant. Like, those are the best people, because they're coming into it with so much energy already. If anything, we cut down the amount of energy they're spending and just change course, and then it's like automatic, right? So those people are some of the easiest to get results for. But these are the components. And if you're thinking back, like, if you look at this video, yeah, yes, it looks really cool, and yes, it looks very effortless and stuff, and he's just like walking around the city with his dog off a leash, and it should look very effortless. It should look completely effortless, because it is. It doesn't require anything to maintain. And by the way, for this full 18-minute video, there was no rewards and no corrections. None. You see? To get to that point requires immense amounts of energy. But once you're there, it becomes self-sustaining. Now, to be clear, it didn't begin like that. Like, if you go back and look at his earlier posts, you can see this was back in May, right? They were struggling with the reactivity, right? And so they had to go through this whole process. That was their max Q, was the reactivity towards other dogs. The thing that they couldn't break past, the thing that was most likely to fail at any period of time was this. But he continues, you see? And so it's this interesting thing, like, when you hit that max Q, you have to make sure that you have the right tools at your disposal to navigate it. You have to make sure that you're on the right course, and you can get other people to check if you're on the right course or not. And you have to have the commitment, again, you've cut off those alternatives, to not succumb to the shiny object syndrome, the short-term thinking, oh, I'm going to try this different method, different approach. You can't succumb to that at this point either. Another thing that happens too is people think they've hit escape velocity, but they haven't. That's a fucking big one, all right? So this is when this happens all the time. Like, for example, people get almost tricked by a false sense of progress in a way. Like, it's like, oh, like they watch our YouTube videos, for instance. Oh, he's not pulling on the leash anymore. Oh, he's not reacting at dogs anymore. And then they ease their foot off the gas. Again, that activation energy that they had to begin the training in the first place, oh, now those problems are gone. Now that pain that was initially motivating the action is gone. What's left? Well, they don't have a big dream or a big goal or anything like this. And so they take their foot off the gas. And guess what happens? The gravity pulls them back down. And slowly, doggies start pulling on a leash again. And they still don't listen. And they still this and still that and still this. But they're at a place where not enough motivation to continue on this. And it's crazy, because living that way requires so much more energy than it does when you hit escape velocity. People think this requires energy, that this requires effort. This requires no effort. This is like literally as casual as walking by without a dog with you. That's how casual it is. It's this weird trick that gravity plays on you. Again, gives you a highly believable reason to stop making progress. And you shouldn't look at it like that. You should look at it when you begin. Again, if you choose to begin and you choose to commit to something, view it with that long-term horizon. I'm going to see this out until I hit escape velocity, until this becomes effortless, until progress is inevitable and the behaviors are automatic. That's what you're striving for, right? Don't stop until you get that. Do not stop. So that's why inside the program, this is the minimum standard. This is the minimum standard, right? Once you're at this, you don't need me anymore. You don't need a trainer. You don't need to keep asking me questions. You've got it. You've got it. You've got the skills. You've got the knowledge. You've got the ability. you can course correct on your own. That's the ultimate, you see? And now, in this little bit of a side note, he was planning on getting another dog, right? He said, what's next? He said, we're going to be turning our attention to securing dog number 2 and go through the whole process again. The cool thing is that now he was at this stage. His current dog has already hit escape velocity. Now when he introduces another dog, that's not going to bring him back down. His dog is going to maintain this. You might have to make a few course corrections and such, but it's going to be very minor. The mistake I see so many people make when they get a second dog is they add another dog. They add more mass onto the rocket, like right as they're about to hit max Q or some shit. Like, it's actually insane. Or maybe they break past max Q, but they're not quite at escape velocity, and then they add another dog, and then it just fucking sucks them down, right? That is a big mistake. So, yeah, I just wanted to give this to you guys as a mental model that you can use in dog training and in other areas of your life. Because when you understand this and when you can visualize like this, you can start to see where you're at and whether or not you've hit escape velocity or not. That should be your number one objective. All right? So I'll go ahead and let's see what we got. Any good comments in here? Let's see what recent ones we got in here. Hey, we got Kay in here. What's up, Kay? This reminded me of Structural Tension from Robert Fritz's Path of Least Resistance. I haven't read it. Maybe I need to look into that. Oh, we got Sierra in here. Let's go. We got been at max Q for a year. Holy shit. See, that's actually crazy. Like, the amount of energy required to maintain at max Q is like astro-fucking-nomical. Like, it is no joke, like, staying at that stage for extended periods of time. So, like, listen, if you're riding max Q for that long, I have strong faith that once you get the right information or once you make the necessary course adjustment, you will hit escape velocity very quickly. It's just a matter of getting that adjustment. Most people, not even close, like everybody quits when they hit max Q, let alone sustain it. Like, that's just absolutely outrageous. Let's see here. I'm going back up in the comments just to see. Let's see here. Susan said, gravity got me. Shy Franklinstein says, the last video was absolutely fire. Seeing actual corrections was so awesome. Yeah, for sure. Again, that's something most trainers never show. And I understand why. People will probably take that out of context and all types of stuff, but it's okay, because I think it'll help far more people than it'll hurt. I see you on Fig Jam. Yep, we're on the Fig Jam, hitting the Prezi. All right. Any questions you guys have on this, guys? Let me know. I'm trying to scroll back up, see if we had any good questions. Or Rachel, if you're in the chat, let me know if there are any good questions. Let me know. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this style of presentation. This is just something, honestly, I've been thinking about a lot, and it's just been on the front of my mind, and I felt like I needed to get it out. Indy AM Drew says, backfire bet, 5-year-old GSG. I wouldn't let her get into timid. What's the question? I had a question at the beginning of the chat. Let's see. Thumbnail had me like. Glad you're getting some good progress. Probably conditioned my dog to e-collar. She has associated the remote with the correction and will nervously not leave my side when I touch it on a walk. You need to remove that association. So you need to start wearing the remote around, not even just having the collar loose on her, not even on, randomly picking it up, randomly clicking it, sometimes using it, sometimes not. Just remove the association. It just becomes a part. It's just like this necklace that you wear for some reason. Should be what she thinks. And then also too, stop using the e-collar temporarily, put her on a long line, go to a favorable environment and encourage her to go and engage with the environment, right? So you can minimize the amount of obedience that you're doing and maximize the environment that you're putting her into. Go some novel new place, go some cool place with a lake or a pond or a stream or something. Put her on a long leash, let her do her thing, right? Run around with her. Are some dogs just unable to get to escape velocity? Combination of super high drive, prey drive, reactivity, low focus. I sometimes wonder if her genetics are just messed up. No, all dogs are capable of it. Not all people are capable of getting their dog to your current skill set, right? So again, I would describe like one of those things, like see how you just described it? Do you ascribe that problem to genetics? Instead of ascribing that to genetics, instead of that and allowing the genetics, I would call that a gravitational trick. It's trying to pull you down. It's trying to derail you. It's trying to trick you, right? Instead of that, just view it very, like this is something I tell everybody inside the program. I make them be very specific as to what the exact problem is. So if they say like, oh, he lacks focus, tell me exactly what the fuck you mean. Exactly what the fuck. Like, oh, and then you find out it's something like very straightforward. It's like, oh, well, when there's another dog around, he gets aroused and then he doesn't listen to my sit command. It's like very specific. Like that's something we can change, right? And so the more specific that you can get, the more detailed the answer can be, the more precise the solution can be, right? When you have these very vague, like, kind of like general problem descriptions of things, it's actually impossible to make progress because you're not able to track towards it, right? But if it's like, oh, he doesn't sit when he sees another dog, it's like, perfect. We can easily measure that, right? So yeah, and I don't mean that in like an attacking way. I mean that in the most genuinely as helpful as I can be way. So I hope you take it like that. We have a Malinois mix who used to be extremely reactive, and thanks to your video, she's now almost fully off-leash trained. Thank you. Awesome. Don't stop until you hit escape velocity, all right? The walk should be effortless. Just like you saw this here, don't stop until you can do something like this. It should be effortless, right? The mistake a lot of people make, especially on YouTube, because they don't get the full picture, unlike, like in the program, obviously it's like actually detailed, but on YouTube, it's just random bits and pieces. So you've got to be very careful that you don't let your foot off the gas, so to speak, before you hit escape velocity and allow Earth's gravity just pull you back down. But that is awesome, though. That's an indication you are incredibly resourceful. See here, my dog stopped reacting when I stopped putting her in obedience when passing another dog. Thanks for the reactivity video. Awesome. I'm happy you are implementing it and taking action on it, right? Let's see here. Looks like blowing through pressure, level 60 doesn't stop her, working level 7, use 30. Yeah, you can either go higher or you change the collar that you're using. So if you're using a mini educator, they have higher powered ones, like the Boss Educator, for instance. I have Shadow EV with me because of your program, Miles. I think everywhere. That's awesome. Yes, Tony inside the program, he's got an off-leash trained Pomsky. Come on now. I've done that for the recent breaks in summer. Did it a lot for at least a month. Straight try and wear it every day. Then what you can do if you don't want to is you can just directly change the association by like if just desensitizing her to the thing and just having her around isn't doing anything, then you can literally just counter condition the response, like literally just counter condition it. So like you're just standing in front of her, click, reward, food, click, food, click, food, click, food, click, food, and then she starts. The association literally changes. You force it to change. Click, ball, like that. Our girl is mega sensitive and her working levels of 4. Before graduation, this is Sierra with the husky. Her working level was a 4. Before graduation, if a squirrel ran by, she wouldn't even respond to like a 90. We had to go all the way. It's crazy how little they notice. Yeah, 100%. When the dog is in drive, right? Threshold for pressure just goes way up. All right. Cool, guys. I think we can go ahead and wrap it up here. So hopefully this was a valuable lesson for you. Hopefully I gave you some useful mental models that not only you can apply to dog training, but also other areas of your life. I think taking these concepts from other disciplines has been at least incredibly useful for me, just as a human. And so hopefully it is also helpful to you. All right. I will see you guys next week. I'm going to try to do one of these lives every week. So I'll see you guys next week. Later, everyone.